Good morning, guys. I am Dr. Lessa Diaz, and we will be talking about Introduction to Ethics today. We will explore what ethics is, how morality is defined, and the role of moral standards in guiding human behavior and decision making. So we have to examine various perspectives on right and wrong, laying the group work for a deeper understanding of ethical principles. So we have here, let me share my slide with you. Okay, so we'll be talking about the introduction to ethics, understanding morality, and moral standards. Ethics actually outlines the course's goals, content, and assessment methods. Typically, it covers moral frameworks, ethical decision making, and the application of ethical principles to various situations, including individual, societal, and environmental contexts. So here, ethics as a course, I'll be presenting to you the outlines, the goals, content, and assessment methods. Actually, this indicates that ethics, like referring to GEC 8 ethics course, is not just a theoretical subject, but a structured learning experience. You will have a clear, or we will have a clear objectives that the students are expected to achieve, specific topics that will be covered, and defined ways in which student understanding will be evaluated, like for example, through exams, papers, and presentations that you will be making in my class or in the class. So typically it covers topics like moral frameworks, like I mentioned a while ago. So this highlights a core component of studying ethics. Moral frameworks are systematic approaches or theories that provide a structure for understanding and evaluating moral issues. So examples could include deontology or the duty based ethics, the outcome based ethics, the virtue ethics, or the character based ethics. And other students also will learn about different ethics or ethical theories and how they can be applied. So, this is a practical application of ethical study. The course will likely equip you with tools and models to analyze ethical dilemma and make reasoned moral choices. This involves, of course, understanding the various factors that influence decisions, identifying potential consequences, and applying ethical principles for you to arrive to justify whatever actions you're going to make. And then this emphasizes also the real world, the relevance of ethics in the real world. It's not just about abstract theories, but it's about how these theories and principles play out in our everyday life. The course, of course, aims to show students how ethical considerations are interwoven into different aspects of human experience. This or specifies, the broad scope of ethical application course that will, of course, cover personal ethics, your individual context, your own choices, your own character, how you interact with others on your personal level. It also encompasses social ethics, justice, and human rights, public policy, and how ethical principles apply to communities, institutions like our school. This could involve, of course, discussions on issues like poverty, equality, or governance. It will also points to environmental ethics, which deals with moral relationship between humans and the natural world. This could involve class topics like sustainability, climate change. I'm I know when I am aware that you know what's happening in our world now, which has something to do with climate change, the animal rights, and the ethical responsibilities concerning ecosystem. So let me have this one. Another slide, please. Wait for a while, just okay. So let us define ethics. It says there, ethics outline the course goals, content, and assessment methods. It covers topics like moral framework, ethical decision making, ethical principle to various situations, including individual, societal, and environmental contexts. So here, this indicates a structure or theoretical subject, but a structural learning experience. It will have a clear objectives that our students are expected to achieve. What would be our objective so that you could learn the subject itself? Okay, you would learn the subject very well. We will define ways in which students' understanding will be evaluated also, as I mentioned a while ago. Okay, so next. So here, ethics, also known as moral philosophy, is a branch of philosophy that explores concepts of right and wrong, good and bad, and the principles that guide moral decision making. It investigates what people ought to do, both individually and within societal structures. So, what does it mean? So, this establishes, guys, ethics as a discipline within the broader field of philosophy. So, I know for sure you know what is philosophy. Philosophy is concerned with fundamental questions about existence, knowledge, values, reason, mind, and language. Ethics, as moral philosophy, guys, specifically deals with questions of morality. So this is the core subject matters of ethics. No? It's about discerning what is morally permissible or impermissible. What constitutes a virtuous actions or a harmful one? Meaning to say an action that could harm other people and the qualitative judgment of actions, characters, and institutions. Ethics is not just descriptive or describing what people do believe is right or wrong, guys. But also, it's about prescriptive. What do we mean by that? Prescribing what people should do. So it seeks to identify and analyze, guys, the underlying principles, rules, or theories that individual and societies can use to make sound moral choices. So these principles, guys, might include, of course, some of those values like fairness, justice, utility, respect for people, or respect for other persons or for persons. So what people ought to do, both individual. Okay? So here, this refers to personal ethics or the normative ethics, focusing on individual moral duties, virtues, and the decision an individual makes in their personal life. I'm pretty sure you are also making your own decision, no? So it addresses questions like how should you live your life, or what kind of person would you like to be, okay, or should you be, no? So this will of course has something to do with yourself, no? So another is about societal structure. So what does it mean? So when we say societal structures, this extends ethics to a broader collective level, encompassing social ethics and political philosophy, and also applied ethics in various fields. For example, business ethics, medical ethics, or environmental ethics. So it addresses, guys, how moral principles apply to laws in school or institutions, policies, and the collective behavior of groups and nations. So this covers issues of justice, guys, rights, public welfare, and systematic morality. So next, we have the ethics, systematic study, or philosophy. So let me read to you. Think of ethics as the process or the discipline. It is a systematic philosophical study of morality. It asks fundamental questions about morality. It's about why and how, why certain actions are considered right or wrong, how we should determine what is moral, what justifies our moral beliefs, and what moral principles we should adopt. Ethics involve critical reflection, analysis, and the construction of theories to understand, explain, and justify moral phenomena. So let us have a breakdown, okay, or let's discuss each point. Huh? So think of ethics as the process of discipline. So this point reiterates, of course, and reinforces the idea of ethics as a structured and rigorous academic field. It's not just a collection of opinions, but a systematic philosophical study. By calling it as a process or discipline, it emphasizes that ethics here involves ongoing inquiry and investigation. So the core activity here, guys, of ethics is to ask fundamental questions. Okay? And it says there the how and the why. Okay? Fundamental questions about morality. So these are deep foundational questions actually that go beyond superficial judgments to understand the roots and implications of moral belief and actions. That's why we have here why and how. Okay, so this delves into the reasoning behind moral judgments. It explores the underlying criteria, values, or theories that lead individuals or societies to clarify actions as moral or immoral. For example, guys, uh, for instance, is an action wrong because it causes harm, or because it violates a duty, or because it stems from a bad character? So those are some of those questions that you may be asking, okay, whether action is wrong or bad. So how we should determine what is moral now. So this refers to the methodologies and approaches used in ethical reasoning. It's about the process of moral deliberation and the standards or frameworks used to arrive at a moral conclusion. So, what justifies our moral belief now, guys? This is about epistemology in ethics. How do we know what is morally true or justifiable? Our moral belief based on reason, emotion, divine command, culture, tradition, or something else. So here, guys, it explores the foundation upon which moral claims rest. So what moral principles we should adopt? So this is the prescriptive aspect. So ethics aims to identify and propose principles like, for example, honesty, justice, compassion, no, that ought to guide human conduct and shape our own moral character. Okay? So here, the last one, ethics involves critical reflection, analysis, and the construction of theories to understand, explain, and justify moral phenomena. So, what does this mean? This means thinking deeply and questioning assumptions about morality rather than simply accepting them at face value. Actually, guys, it involves introspection and careful consideration of moral problems. So, this refers to breaking down complex moral issues into constituent parts, examining different perspective. You know what? We have different kinds of perspective, no? We are we are different from each other. That's why we have our own perspective sometimes. And sometimes we also have the same perspective with other people, no? But sometimes we also have different perspective in life or point of view. And identifying underlying values here, conflicts, and implications. Okay? So, ethics is not just about isolated judgments, guys, but about building coherent system of thought like moral theories, okay, or framework that can consistently understand, explain, and justify moral phenomena. Okay? So, what does this slide means? In summary, it aims to understand why certain things are considered right or wrong. Okay? So how we can determine what is moral, what justifies our moral convictions, and what principles should guide our lives. No? There should be something that will guide our lives so that we will be doing what is right really. No, it achieves this through rigorous or it achieves this through rigorous or critical thinking, analysis, and the development of comprehensive moral theories, guys. Next slide. So, let's have another one. Okay. So let's have the analogy here. Morality is like speaking a language. You just do it, following its rules, even if implicitly. Ethics now is like linguistics, studying the structure, rules, and origins of that language. So you can speak a language without studying linguistics, and you can live a moral life without formally studying ethics. But studying linguistics, guys, helps you understand why you speak the way you do, and studying ethics helps you understand why you should or why you hold certain morals belief and whether they are justifiable. So, what does this mean? So, this part of analogy actually, guys, highlights that morality is primarily about the practice, the behavior, and the actual belief and customs that each of you or groups hold, no? So people live morally or immorally every day, no? So we make our own choices in certain ways and follow societal norms and personal values, often without deeply analyzing why we do so. Okay? Sometimes we just follow those people, no, whom we idolize without thinking whether following them is correct or not. Okay? We just follow and do what they say. So these rules of morality might be internalized from upbringing, culture, religion, or personal experience, and are often followed intuitively or habitually. No? Sometimes we follow our parents because they want us to follow them, no, without us thinking whether it's wrong or it's good or bad, no. And we said here that ethics, also ethics as linguistics, this where ethics comes in. Ethics as a discipline is the systematic, critical, and philosophical study of morality. So it's not just about doing what is or what right is, why it's right, and how we determine it, just as linguistic analyzes, you know, sentence structure, grammar rules, word etymology, and the evolution of language itself, no? Okay, so ethics examine, of course, structure, rules, origins, no? So we have to take note of all of this. So the relationship and the value of studying ethics. So what do we mean by that? This acknowledges that practical morality exists independently of formal ethical study. So many people are perfectly moral individuals without ever taking an ethics class or reading philosophical texts. No? Oh, are you one of those guys? Okay. And another we have there, but studying linguistics helps you understand why you speak the way you do. And studying ethics helps you understand why you hold certain moral beliefs and whether they are justifiable. So, this is the crucial point about the value of ethics, guys. So, while you can do morality without studying ethics, guys, provides deeper understanding actually of critical tools and justification. Okay? So, and the last one, understanding the why you hold certain moral beliefs. Okay. Because ethics, guys, helps us become aware of the foundation of our own moral compass. Are your beliefs based on tradition? Is it based on your emotion? or logical reasoning or something else, no? So this is perhaps the most significant benefit, no, in understanding whether they are justifiable. So ethics, guys, provides the framework and critical thinking skills to evaluate our own moral beliefs and those of others, determining if they are coherent, determining if they are also consistent and well reasoned. No? So it allows for informed and principled moral choices. We make our own choices, guys. Okay. So you have to take note when you make choices, you think whether it's right or wrong also, rather than just habitual or unexamined ones, no? So take note. So let's have another slide. Example here we have, why is stealing wrong? What is the basis for claiming that honesty is a virtue? What moral theory best explains why we should help others? No, guys, these questions are ethical questions. Have you observed people or have you seen persons stealing object or money, getting money from others? So here, guys, there are 3 points that we have to consider. Why is stealing wrong? What is the basis for claiming that honesty is a virtue? And what moral theory best explains why should help others? So this is a classic, guys, ethical question. It doesn't ask if stealing is wrong. The why prompts a deeper investigation into underlying principles of justification. Okay? So, stealing, guys, is wrong because, of course, it violates a universal moral duty or categorical imperative. And stealing really is wrong because it's a kind of crime, no? So, as we said, it violates a universal moral duty. So stealing is wrong because it leads to a negative consequences. No, you might harm other people when you get something that is not yours. And another is that it will break down, of course, breakdown of trust and societal instability. So virtue, ethics here, stealing is wrong because it demonstrates a lack of virtues, for example, like honesty, justice, or respect for others' property. Okay? And take note that the stealing based on the right-based ethics, stealing is wrong because it violates someone's property rights. It's not yours. And if you will be getting it, you are violating someone's properties right. Okay? So what is the basis now for claiming that honesty, guys, is a virtue? So this questions actually moves beyond simply stating that honesty is good. Okay, it asks for justification or foundation of that claim. Okay, so it's about the nature of virtues and their importance. So, how virtues contribute to human being, the role of honesty in building trust and maintaining social cohesion. Okay, so, and then for the third question, guys, this question directly points to the role of moral theories in providing comprehensive explanation for our moral institutions and duties. Actually, it assumes that there are various theoretical frameworks and asks which one offers the most compelling account for I mean, it most compelling account for benevolence, no? Okay. So here, possible theoretical explanation could also be include utilitarianism. Okay. We should also help others because it maximizes overall happiness or well-being, like the greatest good for the greatest number. Okay? So helping others, guys, demonstrate a kind of virtues like compassion and benevolence. Okay? So helping others is a kind of ethics, no? Showing of care to people. Okay? Now, let's move on to morality. So, morality practice belief. So, think of morality as the content or the subject matter. It refers to the actual principles, belief, customs, and practices concerning good and bad, right or wrong that will help an individual or a group of or a societal. It's about the what actions are considered permissible, obligatory, or forbidden, what virtues are valued, what character traits are admirable. Okay, so I hope there are a lot of characters that you have that are admirable, okay, and you're living with virtues, no, and you are also applying values in your life. So the first one point clarifies the morality. Morality is the substance or the empirical data that ethics studies. Okay? And then the next one, this emphasizes that morality is lived experience. It's about what people actually consider good or bad, right or wrong, and how they actually behave in light of those considerations. So there are observable, of course, moral phenomena, okay, that you are seeing in your society, in your environment. Okay, so next is about what it's about the what actions are considered permissible. So here, guys, the focus, of course, would be the morality of using the what framework, directly contrasting, no, it with the why and the how of ethics discussed uh, in the previous slide, which I mentioned. So here, what action are considered permissible and obligatory or forbidden? So this refers to moral rules and duties. For example, guys, know what actions are allowed. Okay, of course, freedom of speech. That's permissible. You could express you have the right to express yourself. Okay? You have the right to be heard. Okay, so what are actions required? Paying taxes, no, paying taxes is somewhat obligatory. So what actions are prohibited? Of course, you are prohibited to not to hurt other people, for example, no, not to commit crimes like murder. Murder is forbidden, so that is uh this is an action that is prohibited, no. So what virtues are valued? This pertains, of course, to the character and qualities deemed morally excellent within the particular context. Okay, next, guys, we have here example. Okay, is it wrong to steal? One should help those in need. Honesty is a virtue. These are moral statements of belief. Of course, it's wrong to steal, no? Okay, so here, I hope nobody's doing this, no? So it is wrong to steal. This is a straightforward moral judgment or belief. So most societies and individuals hold this belief. So it declares a specific action, guys, to be morally impermissible. So the accompanying image here visually reinforces this common moral understanding. One should help those in need. This is actually a moral imperative or a prescriptive belief about people ought to behave. We need to help other people because no one is an island, no? So we are created to not only to live alone, but to be with other people also, to be of help to other people. So it expresses a widely accepted moral principles of benevolence or compassion. No, we have to help other people, show compassion to them also if they are in need. No, so honesty is a virtue. This is a statement about valued moral quality, guys, or character trait. So it identifies honesty as a positive attribute that is morally admirable. So, guys, I hope you are learning something in our discussion. Okay, so let's have another slide exploring the etymological roots of ethics and morality. So, we have here ethics from Greek ethos. From ethos, we derive ethics as the study of character, customs, and the guiding principles of a good life. It implies a deeper reflection on what constitutes a good person or a good society. Okay? So, what do we mean here, guys? Okay. The Greek word ethos, no? Originally referred to a person's character, guys. Disposition, habits, or customs. So it implies a deeper, more internal quality, the moral fiber of an individual or a community. Therefore, guys, we talk about ethics from this root. It emphasizes the systematic study of moral character, the principles that shape it, and the pursuit of what constitutes a virtuous life. Okay, so it implies, guys, a deeper reflection. Okay, so this reinforces the philosophical and analytical nature of ethics. It's not just about rules, guys, but about the fundamental nature of goodness, both at an individual level, okay, and a collective level, no? So it's not only about oneself, but it can be a collective level, what makes a society just and flourishing. Okay? So next slide, let's have morality. So morality, the Latin word refers to customs, manners and habits, conventions. Okay? So it emphasizes the social and practical aspects of right and wrong. The accepted, of course, behaviors and norms within a given community or society. Okay, so here, guys, it aligns with morality being seen as the actual practice of living according to these established customs and belief in the community. Okay, so next, identifying the scope and importance of ethical inquiry in human life. What does it mean, guys? Okay, so here we have the study of ethics is not merely academic exercise. It has profound implication of individual lives, societies, and the entire human endeavor. So therefore, the scope of ethical inquiry, ethics covers a vast array of questions and domains, including personal ethics, social ethics, and professional ethics, guys. Okay? So here, let's have mm, okay, next. Okay. Applied ethics also is another. How do we address specific moral problems in the world? Okay, there are a lot of problems already. Okay, I hope you are watching movies or television, listening to news, what's happening around the world, no? What do moral terms mean? Do objective moral truth exist? That's meta ethics and normative ethics. What general moral principles or theories should guide our actions, like the virtue ethics that we have? Okay, so that's it. Okay, next. So what would be the importance of ethics here? We have here the importance of ethical inquiry in human life. So we have there, ethics provides frameworks and tools to help individuals and groups make informed, responsible choices, especially in complex situations where values conflict. Okay, so what do we mean by that? Okay, let's have, I'm pretty sure you have your own choices in life, and sometimes these choices also create conflicts. Okay, create conflicts in our decision making. But how are we going to know whether our action is right or wrong? Okay, you have to discern, of course, no? Discern, think not only once, but twice and many times before doing action. Does your action will create trouble or harm with other people? So, somewhat, these are some of the questions, no? So, here, guys, we have to take note that studying ethics helps us understand how to live a life that is not just pleasurable, but meaningful and truly good. Okay? So think that you were given life not for yourself only, but for the common good. You have to help other people. Okay? Help us understand how to live a life. What kind of life would you like to have? Is it meaningful, really? Does it bring good to others? So these are some of the questions that you might be asking, or you might ask yourself. Ethical principles are foundational for laws, policies, and social norms that promote fairness, protect rights, resolve conflicts peacefully, and ensure the well-being of all members of society. So if you have these ethical principles, pretty sure you will always be thinking of other people. You don't want to engage in conflict, and you will always be thinking of the well being of other people in your society. Next, let's have another one. Ethics encourages logical reasoning, impartial judgment, and the ability to analyze arguments and identify fallacies in moral discourse. It moves beyond mere opinion to reason justification. Okay? So you have to weigh your action, whether it's good or you're bad, no? So it's not just merely an opinion, but make sure when you make an opinion, you have a good reason to it, no? Why doing it, no? We are not judgmental. We should not be judgmental. We should encourage logical reasoning. No? Okay. Before we argue, we have to think it first. No? Next, by understanding the implication of our actions and the principle that should guide them, we become more aware of our moral obligations and more accountable for our choices. No? So that's how important really is ethics. No? Okay. So you become aware of accountability, your choices. When you do such action, what would be, does it benefit you and the rest of the community? And for the action that you will be doing, you should also be accountable. Next is an increasingly interconnected world. Ethical inquiry is a crucial for addressing global issues like climate change, poverty, human rights, abuses, and technological advancement that have far-reaching moral consequences. So I hope you're aware of what's happening around the world, no? We're suffering with climate change, we have poverty, human rights abuses, no? So I hope you could also do something, no? Even though you're just a student right now, you'll not be adding problems to the world, no? Instead, you'll be doing something that would of course benefit the society, your school. Okay? And the last one is engaging with ethical questions help individuals develop a stronger and forgot, wait, guys. It was moved. Okay, it's almost done. Okay, let's have it. Okay, a stronger, where did I stop? Okay, forgot. Wait. Okay, for the last one, for the importance of ethical inquiry in human life, engaging with ethical questions help individuals develop a stronger sense of self, clarify their values, and build character, leading to a more coherent and principled life. So, if you really have that kind of virtue in life, you have that philosophy in life, you are guided really in living your life because there is that sense of purpose while you are living, no? There is that clarity about your values, the kind of the kind of character that you have, you build that character no matter how people put you down. If you know yourself better, of course you know yourself better than others. So if you know your character, nobody could put you down actually because you have built that character in you. So you have that kind of philosophy in life, and no matter how people misjudge you or put you down, because there are a lot of people who have this kind of crab mentality. Now, if you are successful, they will really pull you down. But if you have built that character in you and that kind of values is really clear in yourself, no, nobody could steal that from you. No, you will still be moving forward to live your life in to goodness. So leading to a more coherent and principled life. So I hope you're learning from my discussion, guys. And for your activity, I will be asking you to group yourself equally divided. So the president of the class will be the one to be of help to me here. Our activity is entitled Dilemma, Debate, and Justification. And our objective, of course, is to apply the distinction between ethics and morality, practice ethical reasoning, and consider the scope of moral standards. So you'll have your group presentation and debrief. You'll have your brainstorming with your group to 10 to 15 minutes. So each group briefly presents their dilemma, their chosen action, and most importantly, their ethical justification. What would be your why do you want to do this? So try to justify your action. So encourage here, we will be encouraging question and answer or comments from other groups as they will present. And after each presentation, of course, we will highlight how groups use ethical reasoning or versus merely stating a moral opinion. Okay? We will also emphasize that there isn't always one right answer, but better justified answer because there's no right and wrong. No, you only need to justify, have a good reasoning of your action. Okay, guys. So you'll have your brainstorming with your group, and then you choose from the scenarios, now A, B, and C. Okay. So for your scenario A, the classmate's secret. For example, your best friend confides in you that they cheated on a major exam, so which significantly boosted their grade. So the professor has a strict zero tolerance policy for cheating. And if caught, your friend would, of course, face serious disciplinary action, potentially expulsion. You are sworn to secrecy. Later, the professor asked the class if anyone has information about potential cheating on that exam. What do you do and why? So you discuss this with your group mates or with your team. And then let's have scenario letter B, the data breach. So you work for a tech company, you discover a critical vulnerability in your company's system that has unknowingly exposed millions of users' personal data for months. Reporting it internally means massive, costly, and reputation damaging public announcement. You could potentially fix it silently, hoping no one notices, protecting the company's image and stock price, but leaving the past data exposure unaddressed. What do you do and why? So you should have a better justifiable reasoning also here. Why are you going to do that if this is your answer? You tell me, you tell us why. Okay? What you should do and why. And then for scenario C, the overpriced medicine. So you are a pharmacist, a desperate mother comes in needing a life-saving medicine for her child. Due to a supply chain issue, the medicine is critically low and your supplier is charging an exorbitant price. You know other pharmacies have run out. You can sell it at the standard price and lose money or sell it at the markup price. Still below, she might pay on the black market and make a significant profit for your struggling pharmacy. So what do you do and why? So it has something to do with your decision of whether you're going to sell it high or somewhat low in order to help the mother, no? Knowing that your company, of course, will also be losing its profits, no? So yeah. So I hope you'll discuss this with your group. Okay? So thank you guys. Thank you. And let me stop sharing. Okay. Okay. So stop recording now. I hope you're learning, guys. Okay. So have your groupings now.